Oh yes, I've got my crown on. Because I am a daughter of the King. What's up, Facebook? I got some stuff to share with you today. Super duper important. We're going to talk about being an empath. What does that mean? No, it's not woo-woo-y stuff. Don't get scared and run away. I'm not talking woo-woo-y, scary stuff. We're talking about having the gift of discernment, being a seer and a feeler in the kingdom. You may not even know that this is part of who you are. And if you're like me and you find this out, it's going to explain a whole lot to you. So let me take my crown off. Bye, crown. I'll put you back on later. Hey, Brandy. I'm being silly. All right, let me take this off if I can remember how to do that. Oh, there I am. All right, there's normal me. All right, so let's talk about being empathic. Hi, Samantha. I'm Melodye Reynolds. I'm an intentional living coach. I teach you about faith, simplifying your health, and organizing and simplifying your life so that you can, thank you. I like it too. I had to take it off. To simplify your life and get back to finding purpose and being less stressed out. So I share a lot about Bible study. I share about health tips and essential oils and anything basically that's helped me in my life. And so today I'm going to talk to you about being an empath. I discovered that I was an empath. There was a name for what I was. I want to say 3 years ago, maybe 2. But once I figured out what it was, first of all, the word empath gets thrown around a lot in a lot of different ways. And I'm like, ooh, I'm not into woo-woo-y stuff. I don't do none of that crazy stuff. But it's actually not. It also means that you are a seer and a feeler in the kingdom, that you have what's called the gift of discernment. So, hey Jessica, how are you, dear? Good to see you on here. So, my hope in sharing this today is that some of you may realize that, first of all, there are other people in the world out there like you, okay? You're not weird, you're not broken, you're not abnormal. There's others of us out there, and you're going to relate to that, hopefully. And then also to, when you understand why you are the way you are, it gave me a lot of peace. I was like, wow, first of all, there's other people that are like this, and it explains a whole lot of why I act and feel and am the way that I am. So I hope, and then I was able to kind of it's like once you know what your gifts are, you're able to more readily step into them and claim them and go, yeah, that is part of me. And yeah, I'm going to use that. So let's talk about what is an empath, okay? Sometimes they can be called highly sensitive people. You might have heard of that term. And keep in mind, kids, if you have kids that have some of these traits, it might explain why sometimes they act like they've lost their mind, but they really haven't. And we'll talk about that in a second too. And I'm looking at notes. I made a bunch of notes so that I could share with you today all the things that I want to share with you. All right, so one of the main things about if you're an empath, if you're a seer or a feeler in the kingdom, is that you pick up really easily on people's emotions. You can walk into a room and if there's tension, you feel it. Or if it's feel-good vibes, you pick up on it. Or, you're very sensitive to the atmosphere. You kind of can, and you can be around somebody and they can make you feel one way, and you get around somebody else and you start to feel a different way. Okay, so your energy, a lot of the times, your own personal energy is affected by what's going on around you. And now, even for me, it doesn't have to be somebody sitting face to face with me. If I'm seeing things going on in the world, if there's a lot of chaos, if there's a lot of destruction, if 9/11, the hurricanes, the floods, things like that I'll feel very down, and I'll feel very, and I mean, we hurt for people, but it really affects my energy level. I'll struggle. I'll be really tired. I'll feel, kind of blah, because it's just coming at me. There's so much going on. but especially if you're in the presence of people too. It can be, you're in a great mood and you get around somebody that's really got some stuff going on, and you're like, why do I feel weird all of a sudden? Oh, you have? Well, girl, let me tell you, we're going to get into it, okay? So that's part of it. You have a strong intuition. You kind of have like a built-in lie detector, right? So you can tell when somebody's not being authentic. You can tell when somebody's faking it. When I was little and I would meet people like that, I wouldn't like them. And I would be very standoffish, quiet. I couldn't put my finger on it because, I didn't really know what it was. But I just would not like the person. And growing up, I got called judgmental a lot. And it wasn't necessarily that I was judging somebody. It's that I picked up on, like, if they were kind of dark, if they maybe had some not so good stuff going on inside of them, if they had a very dark energy, it would repel me. And so I didn't know then, people kind of thought, well, you just don't like so-and-so. And it wasn't that I would even say that. People would pick up on it. But you have this like intuition that you can't really explain it, but you can kind of read people. Like, something doesn't feel right about that. I don't really believe what that girl's saying because or I can see when somebody's deeply hurting, but they're trying to mask it. Like, they're not saying, oh, I've got, I'm going through a divorce, or I'm whatever, something really big. I can read it on people. I can read it on people through video too. I can see like something's going on and she's struggling with something. So that's why I see this as a gift too. Some people that are other empaths will tell me, I don't know that this is a gift. But it is, because it allows you, if you see somebody hurting, but they can't voice it, then number one, you can see how to pray for them, right? You have an insight that's going to lead you for how to pray for them. But also, you can take that into account and try to be loving to them and helpful to them if they're struggling with something, right? It gives me insight into people that they can't. Sometimes I freak people out because I'll say, you're really struggling with something. And they'll look at me like, how did you know that? I've had that happen many times, and they'll be like kind of freaked out a little bit, and I'll say, I don't know, I just kind of picked up on it. I don't go into the, I'm a seer and a feeler. I just say, I don't know, I just kind of felt like maybe you got some things going on. And that usually opens the door for them to have somebody to talk to about it. But I have to be careful because that can drain me. If you have you get a sense in a situation, so like you can pick up on fear, you can pick up on tension, you can pick up on grief, things like that. Being around people can be draining or exhausting. Like, more than an introvert. Okay, so an introvert is somebody who has to be alone to recharge. And that's me. I'm an extroverted introvert. I love to be around people. I love to socialize. But I got to have alone time. I've got to have time away from people to be a nice person. An empath is even more so. You have to have your downtime away from all this energy, because we all have energy. Every living thing has energy. It's just how God designed us. And if you're sensitive to energies, then as you go places, you're going to, even at the grocery store, going to the grocery store can be exhausting for me because, I don't know, people are always angry at the grocery store. Am I the only one? Can you give me like a hands up emoji or something? Does anybody else ever feel like that when you go to the grocery store? And like Walmart has a completely different feeling than Target. Like, I feel like when I go to Walmart, nothing wrong with Walmart. I shop there. I ain't got no problems with it. But people are like either angry or sad. And they kind of want to, I feel like everybody wants to run over me with their cart. Because I go in and I'm in a good mood. I'm like, yay, I get to get food. You know, I'm happy that I have money to get food. And because there was a time in my life I didn't have money to get food when I was growing up. So it's like, okay, I have money to get food. You know, and then by the time you come out, you're like, you're ready to kill somebody. You need to go take a nap. That's because you're going in and out of other people's energy. And when you do that, okay, there we are. All right, got some of y'all feeling, right? And so it's like, I have to come home and rest from that. If you go somewhere where everybody's happy, then you get all that joy, and it's still exhausting. So if you get very easily drained, and by the way, what is tomorrow? Friday, or the next time I do a broadcast, probably tomorrow. Just be connected with me here. Make sure that you get my notifications. I'm going to talk about how to protect your own energy, how to go into places like that, things you can do to get the negativity off of you and to protect you so that you're kind of in your own energy and you're not picking up on everybody else's as much. But I didn't want to put it in on this one because it would make it too long. I seriously go shopping when the store opens and no one is there. Me too. Early in the morning or really late at night. Yeah, I get cart rage too. Because I go in and I'm like, la la la. And by the time I come out, I'm like, I'm going to run somebody down. Ah, everybody's in a bad mood. Especially Christmas shopping. I order everything online. Okay. Noise can be draining. So I can't take a lot of noise. Just like constant. Okay, my daughter loves video games. She loves them. She would play them all the time if I let her, right? But she'll play them for an hour or two at night, most nights, and I don't have a problem with that. But the noise, it's like the noise from the video game, I'll have to tell her, cut it off, put your headphones on or something, because it drains me. Or if I'm out in large crowds, just the constant noise will make me get really irritable and really tired. And that's because you're very sensitive. You're a sensitive person. And you can feel overstimulated. And guys, think about kids. There are a lot of kids that get diagnosed with a lot of things, and it's that they've got this. They're an empath. They're a highly sensitive person. And they just need techniques to cope with it. So a lot of times I'll feel overstimulated. I've just got to like close off the noise. It's constant. I sound crazy when I talk about it. No, you don't. You don't sound crazy. Debbie says, me too. Cool. Now, don't get weirded out by this one, but this is probably you all. You connect with animals more deeply, right? You don't just see your dog as your dog. You love your dog. You know when your dog feels bad, because animals have emotions. I don't care what anybody says. Animals have emotions. I had a dog for 10 years who I truly believe was my little soulmate. And I could tell he had a heart condition. I could tell when he was getting sick. I could tell when he was feeling really good. And I loved that dog, like beyond love. And all animals are drawn to me. They just love me wherever I am. And y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but we had an elephant, a baby elephant at the zoo here, and he got sick. I'm not real big on zoos, but I'm obsessed with elephants, okay? And I really like lions. I'm not going to be on an African safari anytime soon, so yes, I go to the zoo. So I went and I told my husband, I didn't know, there had been nothing publicly released. I told my husband, I said, there's something off about that baby elephant. And I said, and the mom's upset. He's like, oh, whatever. I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you. So we watched them for a really long time. Nothing unusual. It's just a feeling I had. A week later, the baby died. The baby elephant died. And I had to cry about it because the mom knew it was sick and she was in mourning. I cried. Baby elephant. Okay. Don't judge. This is a for real thing. Yeah, I know. I love mine too. And my daughter has a dog now, and I've gotten very attached to him. But this is just, listen, I can get attached to a fish, all right? I love animals. But you know what I mean? There's like a deeper relationship. Okay, also, if you find that being in nature makes you feel better. So, if you got a lot of tension and a lot of buildup and a lot of like you're going to pop, and you go outside and you put your feet in the grass and you take a deep breath, that is a way a lot of empaths clear their negative energy. They clear off, if you've picked up energy from somebody else and it's, kind of invaded your energy, going outside is a good way to, get that off you. I say I shake it off. I'm like, ooh, 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 I shake it off. But I'll go outside and just sit out there and get some sunlight and breathe. Okay? Empaths are very deep thinkers and deep feelers, which means you can have a lot of anxiety. Listen, I have a hard time with small talk. I can do small talk. I can chit chat. I can have fun. But I get real bored with that. I like to go deep, like fast. I like to talk about like real important stuff, like life-changing stuff, like deep, intimate. Why are we here? What's our purpose? Why does God work in this way? And why am I made this way? Like I ask a lot of big questions. And sometimes I'm not for everybody because I love to talk about that kind of stuff, like deep, and that's part of this. When you love, like you love hard. I always say I love hard. I will love a person. If I'm loyal to you, I am loyal, right? So nature brings you peace. Yeah, I love my garden too. Yeah, the beach is my favorite place because it brings me that peace. And I should be living on the beach. It's just got to happen. Judy says yes and amen. Okay. You also notice everything. You pay a lot of attention to small details that other people would never notice. You pick up on little things people do, little actions that may not seem to make a big deal to anybody else, but to you, you're very observant, like you notice stuff. Interestingly enough, so that can give you anxiety, having those deep feelings and deep thoughts. Also, a lot of empaths will have gastrointestinal problems because we carry our energy and our emotions in our stomach. Your stomach is your second brain. Megan, hey! Yep, I know. Absolutely. I remember when you were first like, I think I'm an empath. I'm like, yes, you are. So if you have a lot of gastrointestinal issues, it can be related to the fact that you feel all the feels. You're picking up on everybody's energy, and so you have to process it. So one of the ways your body processes it is through your gut. And by the way, I forgot to ask, please share this if this is of any value. You think this would be helpful to anybody. It helps me to reach more people to help them. So I would appreciate sharing if you possibly would. And thank you for the hearts. All right, so here's something else. I'm almost done. People open up to you very easily. Anybody else? Give me a hands up emoji. No, give me a one. A one in the chat box below. A one. Hey, listen. When my husband first got with me, he didn't know about this stuff. So I would do things like call the cable company. Thank you, Megan, for sharing. I would call the cable company. I'm like, ooh, no, I'm going to get this bill down. This is ridiculous. All right, Judy's feeling me. And Jessica, this is why. Because people pick up on your energy, and most of the time empaths will have, even though we might feel anxious and stuff, we have a calming energy that allows people, they don't know why they're telling you everything, but they do. I mean, at the grocery store, I would call my cable company. I'd be like, can you help me work on this bill? Well, let's see. And I will never forget, the last 2 times I did that when we still had cable, I talked to 2 different people. I knew everything about them an hour later. They were telling me their favorite shows, and then they started telling me about their family and their relationships and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure they were like, why did I just spend an hour on the phone with that girl? I would go into Walmart to get something, and I would wind up talking to somebody and at the end hugging them, right? And my husband would say, did you know that person? I'd be like, no, we just met them. And he'd say, and they told you all that and then hugged you? I'm like, I don't know, yeah. Is that weird? Because that's how it's always been with me. People have always trusted me to tell me that stuff. And now here's the flip side of that. That can be wonderful. I love that. But there are times it's too much. Because then people start telling you, well, I'm going through a divorce and my husband beats me and I lost custody of my kids and, I lost my job. And so then I start getting pulled down like, oh, I know they need somebody to talk to, but at the same time, when I get a lot of that at once, it drains me and it will bring my mood down. So I have to be careful. That's why I don't have messages turned on here on Facebook, because I used to get a lot of messages from people who would tell me a lot of stuff, and I appreciated them wanting to share with me. I really did. But when you've got, 20 people in your message box telling you all the things that are going wrong in their life, it was too much for me. So you're not weird if people do that, okay? I think I've covered it all. So the reason I'm sharing this with you today is I want to encourage you to look up Empath. Look that up. See if you can find some information on it. I hope that some of you guys were telling me in the comments that this is you. And for me, it just made me feel good to know there's other people like me out there. And I'm not weird. I'm not broken. I'm not judgmental. I'm not moody. I really do, have this insight into people, and I feel things deeply, and God made me like that. So it's not a mistake. I used to think, wow, I need to stop doing that, and I need to like relax, and I need to be more like, I need to like talk about the weather and not about the meaning of life. So you're welcome, Jessica. I'm glad you joined in. And tomorrow I'm planning sometime tomorrow afternoon, if all goes well, my daughter gets all her homeschool stuff done. I already have notes for it, for showing you ways to protect your own energy and to kind of get rid of that energy that sticks to you. Not woo-woo-y ways, okay? We're not going to do woo-woo. We're going to do regular stuff that works. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. And thank you for hopping on. I really do. I hope this helps somebody today to just kind of go, hey, that's me. That's cool. Because now I know there's other people out there like that. And like Debbie just said, you can discover your gift and then use it. You can help people with that. Because you have an insight into people, you can speak in their lives in a way nobody else has been able to do. You guys, I've had a lot of friends, and recently my husband had a family member that committed suicide, and I just always think if we pick up on emotions and feelings and things, we got to talk to people, and we've got to say, I feel like you have something going on, and not be afraid to like reach out and be a touchstone for somebody that's kind of struggling to center themselves. So it can be a big gift that we can help people with. And just by somebody just seeing something in you, if you've ever had somebody speak into you like that, it gives you this peace like, wow, okay, I'm okay, and God sees me, I'm here, and He's used this person to speak into me. And that's what I do with my gift. So you can do it with yours too. Yeah, you are not crazy at all, Miss Judy, at all. And no, Megan, you're not weird. Well, maybe we are weird, but the good news is I like being weird. We can be weird together. Let's just be weirdos, because guess what? Normal is boring. I'd rather have a gift like this, and know it and use it, than to have gifts that I don't use and that aren't put to good use. So we'd just be weird together. We can get matching t-shirts or something. All right, guys. So make sure that you're connected with me here, so you see when I go live, when I do the next part to this, or come back to the page and check it out when you have time. I hope you have a really good afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Love you guys.